Hello and welcome back to Event Applications, how to get your event approved first time. This time we'll be talking about off-campus events and travel. So some of your events will be happening on campus, perhaps in university buildings or in the Students' Union building, but there will be times when you'll be going off campus, perhaps to a bar or museum or gallery in town, but also opportunities to go to different cities in the UK. For some groups, you might even go to competitions abroad. So each of those trips, the further you go afield, is going to bring about more risks, probably more money, possibly, hopefully, more members as well. And we've got to account for that. So let's take a look at how we process trip applications. From your events and applications dashboard, if we this time click, are you going off campus? And then we click next. I've already taken the liberty of filling out the basic details. So we've got an example of a Science and Industry Museum trip. Our SIT will be visiting the Manchester Science and Industry Museum. We've got the dates, the budget, the travel. It's going to be inland. And it asks for the location of your event. Science and Industry Museum Manchester, their full address, which I fudged a bit there. And then a primary group leader and primary emergency contact. So this is good to have whenever you're doing a trip to make sure there's one person that we can always get hold of and that your members can always get hold of as well. It might be that you filling out the form and not the one going on the trip yourself. And it's good to have someone at HQ, a home base too, in case anything goes wrong, especially if you're going further afield than Manchester city centre. If we click next, it will ask us a bit more information about travel. So will students be walking to their destination? If you click yes, that's super easy. No additional risks associated there. It's down to everyone else to make their own way there, deal with traffic, deal with walking. That's down to them. If, however, students will be driving, we want to know their driver information. So what's their student ID? How many miles might they be driving? Maybe only 3 if it's in the city centre. But if they're going to Bath or Sheffield or Edinburgh or another university, it might be a bit further. How are you intending on travelling? So it might be across multiple cars. It might be just the one car. It might be that you're going to hire a bus or minibus. So a bit more information there. We click back and we go, will you be using other transport? It will ask for more information again. Bus, train, taxi, other, maybe by boat. Unlikely, but it could be. If you do happen to be hiring a vehicle, such as a bus or something else, it will ask you information for the supply name and how much that travel's overall going to cost. So if it were from a bus, it might not be from Salford Van Hire, but might be from Salford Bus Hire. And it'll ask for their information, their contact information, a quote, how much is it prospectively going to cost your society to run such a trip, the quote amount, and how much VAT is on that too. Then your department and nominal, they should just be a couple of options preset for your society. If we scroll up and we hop back, if we're not using any of those forms of transport, it will still ask how are you intending on travelling, in which case you might need a bit more information. If we hop back one page and we imagine we are going abroad, if this Science and Industry Museum instead is abroad in the Czech Republic, in Prague, and we click that, we're going to have to give some different information. So after travel, because we'll be traveling by plane this time, it's going to ask us a bit more information about international travel. So there's a foreign trip policy that you should read through and understand. Click to say that you've read and understood it. You're expected to upload your booking reference for your travel. It will ask, is your trip ATOL protected? ATOL protected, it protects consumers from losing money or being stranded abroad. So if your travel company goes out of business or if there's other big issues, it's keeping you and your members and their money safe and making sure you can return home. If it's not ATOL protected, your trip may not be approved, but it's something to bear in mind. Always best to get travel and health insurance for all of your members. It will once again ask for your travel provider. This time it might be an airline company or a ferry company. Fill out all of their information, and you can upload a picture of a quote as well if it's not something that you've already purchased. Pop in the quote amount, VAT, department nominal, and this time you also ask to include a travel itinerary. So in this instance, we're flying to Prague on the 10th of June. We've then got a bus excursion to Vienna on the 12th, and we'll actually be flying from Vienna back to Manchester on the 14th. So that's sort of the basics of travel, but maybe one more thing to say if something's off campus. If, for example, we were taking 120 members to the Science and Industry Museum trip, that's quite a lot of people. And instead, later, when we get past all the travel kerfuffle and past the additional information, when we're uploading our risk assessment, you'll also be asked to include another upload. So in addition to your risk assessment, we'll also be looking to see some public liability insurance from the venue of your event. So that could be from the Science and Industry Museum. It could be for an end-of-year ball in a bar in Manchester. And that's basically making sure that your members are once again covered. And we ask that to be in excess of several £1 million. So don't forget public liability insurance along with your risk assessment if you're doing an event with more than 100 members. That's all I've got to say on off-campus and international travel for the time being. If you are to submit an application for international travel, we likely will be in contact with you to ask for lots of additional information and make sure that you're best supported during your time out of the country as a society. We're not looking to put a stop to it, just looking to support you as best we can. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.